Yo, what's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. Turn this goddamn wiper blades off. All right, cool. All right, yeah, so wanted to break off a little history memory that's pretty much going to be an anniversary of today. Probably about, man, damn near, I want to say 28 years or some crazy shit like that. But anyway, let me express to you what we're talking about. Meanwhile, before we begin, I'd appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. And if you got a memory or something like that you wanted to share, something funny, let me know. All right, so as you can see in the thumbnail, that funny looking, what the fuck is that shit? It's a giant snake man. All right, now, I don't know how many of you are 80s babies, but me being an 80s baby, I can pretty much tell you that the 80s was a crazy, lawless wasteland. Like, yo, the 80s... we had RoboCop, which if you go back and watch RoboCop 1 and 2, those movies were fucking disturbing as hell. And like these movies, I don't know, a lot of kids were watching the movies. Like I go back and the rating was R, I think, but yo, a lot of kids watched those movies because they appealed to kids. You got a robot police officer. That shit was dope back then. So yeah, we watched that shit. We watched you know, all the other commercials and stuff like that, like for against drugs. And then we had the Ninja Turtles. One was a really dark movie. That shit was dark as hell. Like, yo, this is a kid's movie that's PG-13, but you had somebody that literally got crushed in a trash truck at the end of the movie. Yo, the 80s was awesome, though, man, because a lot of those classic movies, they haven't been able to replicate the authenticness of those movies. So, yeah, I think it was one of them situations where the 80s was crazy, yo. But then you had this one fucking commercial. And they had a lot of commercials to the commercials' credit. A lot of those PSAs for drugs were all fucking disturbing. I've seen some weird-ass ones and shit. There's one in particular I remember. Not the one I'm ready to tell you about, but the one I do remember was when a girl was dancing in the gym. And they were talking about, I want to be a ballerina when I grow up. And then, like, she's dancing and shit. And then, like, there's this fucking dude running. And you hear somebody say, nobody ever said, I want to be a junkie when I grow up. And you see a police officer chasing him and just big hands him on the shoulder, catches him and shit. And then the commercial ends. Fucking weird-ass commercials, man. But they basically were put out there to disturb kids and stop them from wanting to do drugs. All part of that war on drugs the government started that was a fucking failure and only made shit worse. So anyway, let's talk about this commercial. This commercial. Let's set the tone for exactly what happened. And I got this color scale so you can go back in this memory lane with me, how fucked up this was. I am at home by myself. I'm probably about 5 years old. Don't ask. I'm home by myself. Christmas Eve. I'm in the house. It's nighttime. I'm in my mom and dad's bed watching TV. And they only ones they had a TV in their room, so I used to watch TV in their room. So I'm basically in there, you know, door closed and everything, lights out, watching TV. I think I was watching I can't remember what kid show I was watching. I don't remember what day it was, but I specifically remember it was Christmas Eve. So I guess my parents were out getting Christmas gifts at the last minute because their schedules are crazy at that current time. And they were working like jobs at wee hours of the night sometimes, and they barely got any days off together. So I think they were doing last minute Christmas shopping. So, man, I'm watching this kid show. It was a cartoon of some sorts. And in between the cartoon, there's a commercial that comes on. And the first view of the commercial comes right on. It doesn't even give you a warning. It just comes on. I've never seen this shit before. Keep in mind, I'm like maybe 5 years old. I'm little. So I'm watching this shit, and this guy says, hey, little dude, send your mommy and daddy out the room. And there's this guy over the black guy over the, he looked like he had a low-top fade. He had a leather jacket and some cream-colored pants. I remember that shit. The video's on YouTube if you look for it. You can actually find the video. So, he's like, send your mom and dad out the room. I gotta put you up on this. You know who I am. And he just goes into this whole spill about how he got drugs and all this other shit. And he tells you, you know, take one hit and you'll do anything. And gradually as this video goes on, it catches your attention because he's talking to you because you're a kid. So you're looking like, okay. And he's telling you, yeah, I got all these drugs, man. You know, anything you want, man. Weed, coke, crack, anything, your choice. You know, take one hit. And then he goes behind this, like a person walks by and you can see his silhouette slightly changes. like, he's still human looking, but something's not right about his face. And it's like a darker commercial. So, and then he's continually talking about how drugs will fuck you up if you take the drugs. And he walks behind this pillar and his face looks even worse, but you still can't see the details because it's dark. But you can see the shape of his face is like definitely not human anymore. So he walks behind another pillar, his face just gets even worse, and he's got like some weird collar on. And then he goes, no, some people say I'm dealing in poison. And he walks behind one more pillar and comes out in the light, and it's this giant, disturbing looking fucking cobra snake face. He says, hey, but do I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you? He says, yes. And then his tongue comes out and does this little snake thing. Yo, my man, I almost pissed my pants. I was crying. I was so afraid of that fucking commercial. That shit was disturbing as fuck. And yo, why? I go back to watch this commercial now, and it is like 2020, and that was like shit. I think it was like goddamn 1989 or some shit. Like, it was an old ass commercial. So I go back to watch this goddamn commercial now, and I'm like, yo, this shit is disturbing as fuck. Why the fuck would you put this on TV for kids to watch? What is wrong? What kind of asshole would put that movie or that fucking commercial in between a kid's movie or cartoon or whatever the hell I was watching and expect this to be appropriate for children to watch? I don't give a shit how many drugs you're trying to propel them from using. I don't care about none of that. Like, as a matter of fact, bro, I would go as far as to say that particular commercial made me try weed. Like, like, I just want to forget about this shit, man. Like, yo, watching that commercial now makes me want to use hard drugs just so I can not remember that shit anymore. Like, yo, that shit makes me want to, like, do some, like, bath salts or some stupid shit like that. But, like, yo, that commercial was completely fucked up. And, like, you can look it up. Look up on YouTube, snake drug PSA. Look up that fucking commercial and tell me if you were 5 years old and it was nighttime and you were in your room by yourself with all the lights out about to go to sleep and that shit came on, it would not creep you the fuck out. That shit was weird as hell. All those fucking drug PSA commercials. Fuck you, government. Fuck the U.S. government. Fuck you for putting that shit out. Fuck you for the war on drugs. And fuck you for lying to us about weed, you pieces of shit. The federal government are garbage, and that is proof. And everything that's happening right now, the federal government has always been on some bullshit. So fuck you, government, goddammit. That shit was crazy, man. That shit scarred me, bro. Like, oh, man, that shit was terrible. That was a terrible memory. But yeah, man, that shit was crazy, man. If you guys have any other memories or something like that, or shows or commercials you saw that was disturbing as hell, let me know in the comment section so I can check them out. Hell, share the link in the comment section so we all can see how fucked up TV and the commercial industry is. Yeah, and that's my rant. Rant over. Let me know what y'all think, and I will holler at you guys later. Peace out.